Hello, friends. By now, you have hopefully read through all the materials we presented to you about how to lead an effective meeting, be it in person or online. And now it's time to learn, quite possibly, my favorite tool out of all the tools available to us in Google Suite. And that is the scheduling function within the Google Calendar. Now, some of you may already know how to use this. If that's the case and you feel good, then no need to watch the rest of this video. But I'm guessing that many of you, when you're asked to schedule a meeting and more of your teachers at Marlboro are saying, yes, I'm happy to meet with you. Can you find us a time to meet using my Google Calendar? You might be saying, ooh, I actually don't really know how to use the Google Calendar. So this is a tool that is going to be incredibly helpful for you, not only as a leader at Marlboro, but also as a student at Marlboro, where you might want to be scheduling meetings with an adult or even meetings with other students. And then later on in life, because being able to manage your calendar, especially as the world goes more digital and moves away from paper, is a really useful task just in terms of keeping your life organized. So I am going to show you exactly how to do that from start to finish. As you can see, I've shared my screen. I am right in my Marlboro module. And so I am going to open that up. I'm going to start a new window. And I go automatically to Google. If you're not automatically in Google, then you'll want to get there. And then you go over to this dotted grid to access your apps. And then from there, you click on Calendar. And I have a lot going on in my calendar. Actually, it's not so bad right now. But I have lots of calendars that I manage. Some of these are personal calendars. Those are kind of down here. You can see I have a calendar for my kids. And then I have some calendars related to the CEI. But up here, the one that I'm going to be focusing on is my Regina Rosie calendar, because when I create a meeting, I want to make sure that that appears in my calendar, and then that's also going to go out to other people. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. The first step is to go up to Create. Now, let's imagine that I want to create a meeting with Mr. Quimby. Okay, so I'm going to start, and I will just say Mr. Quimby, Miss Rosie Mitchell. And maybe I want to also say what the meeting is about, just so that we both have some context and that this can serve as a reminder. So I'll say first day of school. Right? I'm then going to, you can skip things around. You can skip around here, but I then like to put in a potential date for the meeting. So let's imagine, right now it's June 27th. Let's imagine I want to meet with him on June 30th. That day might work well for me. But let's say that I'm not quite sure what time will work really well. So right now, my June 30th actually looks pretty open, but I'm not sure when Mr. Quimby might be available. So I am going to then add his name here. So he shows up. And then the key is to go to where it says More Options. Now that I'm in More Options, I want to click on Find a Time. This is the best part, everyone. And suddenly I can see when I'm free and when Mr. Quimby might be free. Now, this is a fun date because it looks like neither of us have anything happening on Tuesday the 30th. Versus if I were to check on July 1st, let's see, you can see that I'm busy from 8 to 9 and Mr. Quimby is busy from 1 to 2. And so those would be times I wouldn't want to select. But let's say that I want to go back to having the meeting on June 29th. So I go there. I mark in the time. Let's say it seemed like we are both free all day. So I'll do 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Again, this is just a practice. And then I add in any of the necessary information. And so if we are happening to meet in person, which now in the times of the pandemic is probably not happening, but it could. But this is where I oftentimes will put either the Zoom link if we're meeting over Zoom, or, and I highly suggest that you start to use the Google Meet function, because Google Meet is really great if you're meeting one-on-one or even meeting in a smaller group. As long as you don't want the breakout rooms function, Google Meet works just great. And so all I have to do is click that, add at Google Meet, and all of a sudden the link to click on to meet over Google Meet will appear in the calendar invite. Down here, if I want to add a little bit more information about what the meeting will be about, I can do so. So maybe I want to say something like, let's get together to discuss the plans for the first day of school. Please review the document I shared on June 27th. Okay, so I double check things, I double check my times, and then once I'm ready to go, I click save. It'll ask me if I want to send the invitation emails to Google Calendar guests. I definitely do. And then I will click send on that. And the awesome thing is that it then appears on my calendar. Mr. Quimby will get a calendar invite directly to his email where he can then go and review it. He can click yes or no, and then I can go back and I can see if he plans on attending. And so later on, what it will look like for me, once he responds, it will have a check mark next to his name. Then once the time of our meeting rolls around 12 o'clock, I can then log in, and it's very simple. I just go directly to this calendar invite and I click join with Google Meet. So that, in short, is how Google Calendar works. It's a very useful tool. I imagine that many of you are already used to using Google Calendar because your teachers might be sending you these calendar links already. But why I wanted to share this tool with you is that now you're empowered to make the meeting. You can make that meeting with your teachers. Instead of waiting for them to get back to you or waiting to find a time, you can say, you know what, I'm going to be proactive here. I'll take a look at both of our calendars and I'll find us a time to meet. I know that I meet with so many different students that when they can take this extra step and find a time that works in both of our calendars, that makes my life so much easier, and I definitely appreciate that. So the more that you can start making sure that your own calendar is up to date and get used to checking out other people's calendars when trying to find a good time to meet, the better. If you have any questions about the Google Calendar tool, I would be happy to go over this in detail with you. Like I said, I use this function every day, multiple times a day, and I hope you will too. So good luck, happy planning, and I'm so glad to have you as a leader at Marlboro. Take care.